I'm Swami Monamurti Saraswati, David Little, your host tonight for the week 11 lecture from the Series 1 from QEEU Canon. So I'll just take this screen down a little bit. So in week 9, we explored the guidance curriculum, the practical system for aligning with evolutionary intelligence. In week 10, we articulated the institutional identity of QEEU, the structure that protects and transmits the canon. Tonight, we turn to the deep roots of the entire system, the canon and lineage. This is the week where we reveal the ancestry of the knowledge, the continuity behind the architecture, and the forces that stand behind QEEU as an institution. The canon is not merely written, it is inherited, remembered, transmitted, and activated. 1. What the canon actually is. The canon is the unified body of knowledge that defines QEEU. It includes the multiverse theory, the Kriya Yuga philosophy, Homo Lumina, the multidimensional brain, astrophysics, dimensional knot theory, the guidance curriculum, the oversoul architecture, and much more. But the canon is more than content. It is a living structure, a multidimensional map of consciousness that evolves as it increases. The canon is the backbone of QEEU. 2. The canon as a lineage transmission. The canon did not emerge from abstraction. It emerged from lived experience, direct perception, subtle body activation, lineage transmission, oversoul memory, dimensional insight. Lineage is not historical, it is energetic, continuity, the transmission of clarity across generations, dimensions, and states of consciousness. The canon is the modern articulation of an ancient current. 3. Lineage as a dimensional phenomenon. Lineage is not a chain of teachers. It is a dimensional field, a subtle architecture that carries knowledge, memory, methods, transmissions, evolutionary direction. When a practitioner enters this field, they gain access to deeper insight, structural memory, intuitive clarity, oversoul alignment. Lineage is the continuity of consciousness across time. 4. Dimensional knot theory and lineage access. Dimensional knots, granthis, restrict access to lineage memory. When the knots are tight, lineage signals are faint. Intuition becomes inconsistent. Symbolic intelligence collapses. Oversoul communication is blocked. When knots loosen, lineage memory awakens. Intuition becomes precise. Astral and causal layers open. The canon becomes experiential. Knot release is the mechanism that allows lineage transmission to occur. 5. The multidimensional brain and canon integration. The multidimensional brain translates lineage information into human cognition. It receives lineage signals as insight, clarity, structural understanding, intuitive recognition, the sense of, I already know this. This is why the canon feels like remembering rather than learning. The canon is not external knowledge. It is internal architecture which is being revealed. 6. The role of the founding chancellor in lineage continuity. The founding chancellor is not merely a leader. They are the lineage anchor, the point where the canon enters the world, the lineage field stabilizes, the institution gains coherence, the architecture becomes teachable. The chancellor holds the voice of the canon, the integrity of the lineage, the clarity of the architecture, the ceremonial presence, the dimensional alignment. The role is structural, not symbolic. 7. Subtle body hygiene and canon stability. The canon remains clear only when the subtle body of the transmitter is clear. Daily practice maintains dimensional permeability, stabilizes intuitive bandwidth, keeps lineage signals clean, prevents distortion, strengthens the institutional field. This is why Kriya is essential. It is the hygiene that keeps the canon coherent. Without subtle body hygiene, the canon becomes fragmented. With it, the canon becomes crystalline. 8. The canon as a multidimensional map. The canon maps the evolution of consciousness, the structure of subtle body, the mechanics of not release, the architecture of the multiverse, the identity of the oversoul, the training of Homo Lumina. It is not a philosophy. It is a dimensional operating system. The canon teaches the human system how to evolve. Why the canon 9? Why the canon and lineage matter to QEEU? The canon and lineage module is essential because it explains where the knowledge comes from, why it is coherent, how it is transmitted, how it is protected, how it evolves, how it is anchored in the institution. Without lineage, the canon has no roots. Without the canon, the lineage has no form. Together, they create a living evolutionary system. Closing. Tonight, we have entered the deepest roots of the QEEU, the canon and the lineage that stands behind it. This is the foundation of the institution, the architecture, and the evolutionary mission. So we'll wrap up week 11 now. And later on tonight, I'm going to continue with 2 more live streams for week 12. That's the first lecture called The Path Forward. And lecture 13, which is called The Ascension Formula, the bridge between physiology and light. So that will conclude series 1 lectures tonight. And next week, we start series 2, which is the spiritual transmission series. So hurry on. Namaste.